Hello everyone, it's Debbie with Book and BuJo. Welcome if you're new, welcome back if you've been here before. Are you ready? It's time for July TBRopoly. Will the game be nice or will it be mean again? Let's find out. For June, I did complete my TBR. The only thing I have left is Culinary Leverage by Douglas Keane, and I am about 35% of the way through and I still have a week left. So that will definitely be complete before the month is over. So I did complete my TBR, which means I get a reward. I finished my June TBR. Yay, very excited about that. Wasn't sure I was going to make it, but I did. And so I get a reward. So whenever I use any of the cards, as soon as I'm done, I put it at the back and then I pull from the top again. So that one was to triple up one book for 3 prompts, and I did do that. That was Culinary Leverage by Douglas Keane. So my next reward is pick a reward from someone else's game. Right, my reward is pick a reward from someone else's game. And for that, I went to Post-its and Pens, her channel, and her reward was to do a re-roll. So if you have a roll you don't like, then you can re-roll. Let's see if I end up using it or not. And let's see how many rolls I will be doing for July. Now for July, I don't plan on taking part of any Readathons, but I said that in May and look what happened. There is Becca Book and BuJo is doing her deck of TBR Readathons, so I'm kind of toying with the idea of maybe loosely participating in that, but not being like super overboard. Maybe draw as I go on that one. I'm still not decided because I am taking part of HRCYED, or the Hardest Reading Challenge You'll Ever Do 2.0. I came in kind of late to the party for the first one, and I was just a little too overwhelmed with everything to actually do it the first year it came out. So I'm going to try this year, and I want to try and get into that one. So I think I'm going to focus on that mainly for July. So we'll see. The other thing is I do want to go through, I kind of went through my 25 and 2025 cards here because I have 2024 and 2023 in here. And these are all ones I've actually read. So I removed these. So I read the Savage Song. I actually had that one in here twice. So 2023 and 2024. Or this one was 2023, and then I changed it to 2024, and now I had it in 2025. So I finally read that one. I read A Twist of the Blade, which was 2024. The Eyes Are the Best Part. The pink ones are 2025. The Solstice Court by J. Juniper. Shade of Madness by Tiago Abdallah. There's A Twist of the Blade. Again, I had that one. Did I have that one? Yeah, I have that one in here for 2024 and 2025. And then A Deadly Education by Naomi Novik, Great Expectations by Charles Dickens, Win and Truth, Brandon Sanderson, and The Poisoner's Enemy by Jeff Wheeler, I believe. And I did finish all of those. So 1, 2, 3, 4. How many were actually 2025 ones? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I've gotten through at least 7 of them in 2025, so I'm going to remove these cards and make this stack just a little more doable. Okay, so with all of that said about no readathons and whatever, I'm going to roll my D10 to see how many rolls I will be doing in July. I'm going to be nice to myself. Let's go ahead and move this in the middle so you can see really well. And that is an 8. Of course it is. It could have been a 10, so I will take it. So I'm going to be doing 8 rolls for July. I did roll my 10-sided die, and I ended up with an 8, so not too bad, and better than the 15 from June. So 8 it is. And let's go ahead and go to my first roll. This is where I ended in July, or June, so that's where I will start for July. So let's go ahead and go with roll number 1. Let's go ahead and just move it here. That is a 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and that is an even number, so an even card, and that is to read a retelling. My first roll was an even card, and that was to read a retelling. And for the retelling, I decided to go with Cress, the 3rd book in the Lunar Chronicles by Marissa Meyer. Roll number 2 of 8. 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, odd number, so odd card. And that is to read an indie book. Ooh, I like that one. Always a good one. Roll number 2, I got an odd card, and that was to read an indie book. And for this, I decided to go with A Healer's Gift by Tao Wang and Tao Wang, and this is the first book in the Adventures of Brad series, and it's a lit RPG, and it looks really fun. I have no idea what that creature is, but I guess I'll find out. It looks kind of maybe raccoonish, foxish. Not quite sure. But I'll find out when I read it. Roll number 3 of 8. That is a 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A challenge card. Do a watercolor project. Awesome. Roll number 3 was a challenge card, and that was to do a watercolor project. So that's what I will be doing. So far, I think it's the blessing of the odd cards. So far, so good. Usually if I get all evens, things just go crazy. But when I get a bunch of odds, things seem to be okay. Well, fingers crossed. We'll see. Roll number 4 of 8. 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yes. Another NetGalley book. I've been getting a lot of those this year. And I think there's a NetGalley book that when I was looking for the business book, I ran across one that looked interesting. So I'll have to see if that, I think it's a fantasy. I'll have to see if that's still available. Roll number 4, I landed on NetGalley book. And for that, I will be reading Orishas Among Mortals. And that is by Antoine Bandy. And I don't really know much about that, but the cover was kind of fun. So we'll give it a try and see. Roll 5 of 8. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Read a series. All right, what's next? This is one of the older ones. This is, I think, from 2023. Let's see. Wheel of Time. Yay, I finished this one. I can remove this one from the pile. I have gone through all the books in the Wheel of Time series. So I can remove that one, and let's go for another one. I think this one, I think the white ones are 2024 and the black ones are 2025. I think. Not sure. Might be the other way around. I think the black ones are 2024 and the white ones are 2025. Zoe Myers. Oh, that's good. I have one book left in that series. At least the series of the books that I own. Roll number 5, I landed on series, and that was to read the next book in the Zoe Myers series. And I am on book 3, which is Broken Beasts. And this one is a paranormal fantasy with werewolves and vampires and things like that, and demons and that kind of thing. The first 2 books are fun. Nothing amazing, but they're fun and good enough to continue with the series. I do have the 3-book box set, and so this will be the last of the ones that I own in the series. I think there's 6 in the series total. Could totally be wrong about that, though. Might be more. Oh, and that's by Sarah C. Rothel. All right, roll 6 of 8. Cruising right along. 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Odd card. Dice roll roulette. If you've been on BookTube for a while, you have probably played Becca's Bookopoly, and for her readathon that she does every year, one of the prompts was a dice roll roulette, and that's what this one is based off of. So I take my dice, and then I assign how many numbers for each dice, and then when I roll it, that's how many I have to read. So 1s are 100, 2 is 200, 3 is 300, and so forth. So I just roll the 1 die, so let's see what I'm going to get. 2, so I have to have a book between 200 and 299 pages. Roll number 6 was an odd card, and that was to do a dice roll roulette. And I decided if it got a 1, it'd be 100 to 199 pages, a 2 is 200 to 299, etc., up through 6, and did a 6-sided die, because I didn't want to get a 12, because you know I would have gotten a 12. Don't need a 1,200-page book right now. Now, next month, when I read, here, let's show you. When I read the last 2 books of Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn, that could have worked, but that's not till next month. Editing Debbie here, and I realized that I laughed about not wanting to get a 12 for the dice roll roulette, and then I never told you what book I actually chose. So here we go. So I had 200 to 299 pages, and this book is 264 pages, and that is Jawbone by Monica Ojeda, and I picked this one mainly because it works for the Horror Bingo Readathon. So Jawbone by Monica Ojeda. Roll 7 of 8. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Another odd card. Hey, we're staying away from those evens. That's good. TBR jar. Got my handy dandy TBR trash can. I don't know when the last time was I updated it. Not too long ago, a couple months maybe. So let's kind of, there's one in between the top of my fingers. I have a lot here. Okay, we're gonna go with this one. Oh, Common Sense. That's an oldie. Roll number 7 was an odd card, and that was to read a TBR jar pick. And for that, I pulled Common Sense by Thomas Paine. And I do have that on my Kindle, and it's only like 92 pages, so it should be, I say it's fairly quick to read because it's so short, but then again, you know, it's from what, the 17 to 1800s, so 1700s. So the language might not be as easy to read, but I'm interested, I'm intrigued. It's definitely a TBR vet, so we'll give it a try. All right, and last roll, roll 8 of 8. A 6. Pretty easy game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A booktuber wreck. Seems like TBRopoly is trying to be nice after June's fiasco of like 5 doubles. So I will take it and assume that August will be worse. Seems like everyone's TBR games were really mean in June, so hopefully everyone's will be really nice to them in July, at least as nice as mine was. And then roll number 8. What did I say about the blessing of the odd cards? No doubles and only one even. It was the very first one. So we got it out of the way and the rest were odd. So thank you, odd cards. And the last roll, roll number 8, was a booktuber wreck. And for that, I will be going with the recommendation from Erin from Booked and Busy and read Stone of Farewell by Tad Williams, the second book in the Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn series with the beautiful swords. And this one's not too bad, 876 pages. So compared to some other things, not too bad. Maybe when I do dice roll roulette again, I may roll my 8-sided die because that one makes more sense. I'm good with like 900 and below, but once you get up to 900 and above, that makes it a little harder to find some books and also making sure I have time to read them. But yeah. And that's it for my TBR rolls. Crazy. I think, what, February maybe might have been the last time I had a somewhat short TBR game. I have my reading journal on my lap. Let me look. So let's see. January, what did I have? January I had 15 and 15 rolls. February I had 7 rolls and no doubles. It's interesting. March, 7 rolls but 3 doubles. April I had 2 doubles and 13 rolls. So I guess it was more like March. Oh, actually May wasn't too bad. There's only 6 rolls, so I think May was probably my nicest so far. And then June, of course, was 15 rolls with 5 doubles. So May was the nicest so far, so I will take it. I will take it. Okay, now let's move into book clubs. Book clubs. We'll start with the BuJo Buddies book club. We will be reading Wild Love by Elsie Silver, and it's the first book in the Rose Hill series. Honestly, I don't really want to read it. I am contemporary romanced out with Binding 13 and Keeping 13. And it's 466 pages. So it'll be the last thing I read. So if I get to it, great. If not, then I will not be sad. Catch Up Book Club. We're still reading Wrath by Gwynne, the 4th and final book in the Faithful and Fallen series, and I did read that last month, so I'm done with that. For Dragon and Draconathon with Soleil Celine and Jade Juniper, do not know yet. Hopefully we'll find out the first week of July for that one. For the Game of Tomes with Carolyn Marie Reeds and Emmy, we are reading The Silmarillion by J.R.R. Tolkien, and I have already read that one. I read that one last year and loved it, so I do not need to complete that one. For the Hardcore Literature Book Club with Benjamin McAvoy, we're reading The Iliad and the Odyssey by Homer, which I have also read recently within the last couple of years, so I am good to go with those. For the Wellread Book Club with Carolyn Marie Reeds, we'll be reading a dystopian, but don't know what it is yet. So I will find that out closer to the first week of July. For Words of Influence with Kara's Bookshelf, don't know yet, haven't seen, but that video should be coming out fairly soon. For the Thomas Howell Book Club, we will be reading The Stand by Stephen King, and I have not read that one. I have watched the movie Lean on Me. That was excellent. So I'm intrigued on this one. It's a little bit shorter, and I'm very interested to see how the book is compared to the movie and what I think about it. A couple of the other Stephen King books that I read, I do not want to watch the movie because no. I'm sure Misery was amazing, but the book was enough. I don't need the movie with the amazing acting and the sound effects and the visuals and the music, and yeah, no. The other one is The Mist, also no. Book was good, don't want the added visuals of the movie in my head. So yeah, we'll see about Lean on Me. I don't feel like it was as scary, you know, like thriller horror kind of thing. It's more a little more tame, I guess. Now, I have seen The Stand, but not watched the movies. What was it, Matthew McConaughey? Is that who was in there? I did watch the movie. It was okay. Didn't make me want to read the books, but yeah. Now on to read-alongs. For the Three Swordsalong with Erin from Booked and Busy, we are reading Stone of Farewell by Tad Williams, the second book in the Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn series. And for the Vampire Academy read-along with Sandra from Got a Thing for Things, we are reading Frostbite by Rochelle Mead. And I had misunderstood. For some reason, I was thinking we were doing two books a month. We're only doing one book a month. 2 books every 2 months. So the Frostbite would be the second book in the series for July. And I already read that, so good to go. Now for year-long readathons. For Year in Aldia, for Ariel, she went from 6E and then is going to be moving into 7B, and that is to brew a healing potion. And so you need to have a book title with the word heal in it. And for that, I will be reading A Healer's Gift by Tao Wong, and it's the first book in the Adventures of Brad series. For Karasu, he was on 6C and he will be moving to 7C, and that is to start a band with this strange little impling that he found when he was at 6C. And that is to read a book with a musical instrument on the cover. And for this, I will be reading The Harp of Immock Thistle by Patricia C. Weirdy, the third book in the Lyra series. Next up, Buzzwordathon. For the title prompt, it's punctuation. And for that, I will be reading A Healer's Gift, because it's got an apostrophe right there, by Tao Wong. Again, the first book in the Adventures of Brad series. For the cover prompt, you need to have technology on the cover, and for this I will be reading Saga Volume 11, and of course, Robot Jr., Prince Robot, has a computer screen as a head by Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples. Next is Gooberathon, A Year of Goober by Jess from Jashi Curran. And the first prompt, there's 2 prompts, you only need to do one of them. The first prompt is Larkspur, read a book out of your comfort zone, and for that I'll be reading Common Sense by Thomas Paine. Water Lily, A Source of Light on the cover. And for this, I will be reading Cress by Marissa Meyer, the third book in the Lunar Chronicles. For Sufferathon, don't know yet, haven't seen the video come out, but I will let you know when I find out. TBR Knockout by Completely Melanie. For July, it is Summertime Blues. So the first prompt is to read a book with blue on the cover, and not this cover, but I will show the actual cover for the book because it's just a random Kindle one, but that is Common Sense by Thomas Paine. And the second prompt is a book that you think will make you cry. I don't know. Actually, the nonfiction book I'm reading right now is definitely making me tear up. It's really good. Culinary Leverage by Douglas Keane. Highly recommend. So good. The first book somewhat made me tear up just a little bit, get a little choked up a little bit, and so I think the second book will probably do that as well, and that is Stone of Farewell by Tad Williams, the second book in the Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn series. And now to Readathons. Now, I'm staying true to my word so far. I am not taking part in any Readathons in July, except for the ones that I already had planned, like the year-long ones, that kind of thing. So I am doing TBR Trails because I am part of that, and that takes place every month. And I am also starting HRCYED in July, the hardest reading challenge I'll ever do, 2.0. So those are the only ones. And I have seen, I mean, the Tarot Readathon is starting again. I've seen a couple others kind of come through, and I'm like, don't look at them, don't look at them. So I'm being good and not doing them. Focus on TBR Trails and HRCYED. That is my goal for July. So TBR Trails, I'm on Team Azrae, and I'm happy to say that the fairies won for June, which is awesome. Sorry, Centaurs, you run in May, so we can win in June, right? And there's 6 prompts and then an activity. So our activity for July for the fairies is to recommend a book with a disability rep. And then you put that in the Discord channel and in the submission form. Not quite sure which one I'm going to use for this yet, but with HRCYED, there's also prompts for reading books with disability representation in them. So I will probably use one of those, but I'm wondering if some of the books that I have on my TBR are ready. Like Cress, I know does because of Cinder. So I could use that one. Not sure about Healer's Gift. I have a feeling there will be some disability in there somewhere. Not sure about Jawbone either, so that's another possibility. Our first prompt was to randomize a TBR jar or a list, and of course, for my TBR game, I got TBR jar, so that was perfect, and that was Common Sense by Thomas Paine. I'm liking how this is working out, where everything is double, tripling up, and I can use all of my books, my TBR, and everything else. It's a beautiful thing. The second prompt was to read a book you've been meaning to read for a long time. I'm pretty sure I started the first book in this series in like 2022, I believe, maybe 2023. I think it was 2022, like May or August or something of 2022. So it's been a while. And so I need to finish Zoe Meyer's series by Sarah C. Rothfull, and I'll be reading the third book, which is Broken Beasts. Prompt number 3 was to read a book with UFOs, aliens, or space travel, and for this I will be reading Sada Volume 11 by Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples. Prompt 4, book with food on the cover. Now I'm kind of twisting this a little bit. We'll see if it flies or not. I may have to change it, but for now, I'm going to be using Jawbone by Monica Ojeda, and that is because there is an alligator on the cover. Now, I have had alligators, so I was in Louisiana for a little while, and it's really good. It depends on where you get it. It can be super rubbery, or it can taste like tender chicken. It just depends on where you get it, but yeah, alligator is very good. Now, if it needs to be a prepared food, then I will punt and find something else, but for now, that's what I'm using. Fifth prompt was a free pick. Pick whatever you want. And I will be picking The Harp of Imic Thistle by Patricia C. Weirdy, the third book in the Lyra series. And this could also be used for a book you've been meaning to get to. Again, because I've read the first 2 books years apart. Now here's a couple more years later. Still haven't read the third one. And I believe the first 3 books are more of standalones in the series, where they have some references to, it's the same world, there's references to some of the characters, but you don't necessarily need to know who they are in each of these. But I believe the 4th and 5th book in the series are more of a continuation of the other 3 stories, I believe. Prompt number 6, read a hardcover. Well, that's easy. Stone of Farewell by Tad Williams, third book in the Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn series. Next up, it would be HRCYED. I haven't decided all of what I'm reading, but I'm pretty sure most of the books on my TBR will fit into prompts from HRCYED. So if you don't know what that is, I will leave Q's announcement video down below. Her channel is QWERTY, and she can explain it so much better than I can. But basically it's a 25 square bingo board. You have white squares and you have purple squares. The white squares are the hard challenges that are fixed, like this is what you do and there you go. The purple squares are more like challenges that depend on your reading tastes, what books you have, things like that. So they're tweakable a little bit. And I will be having a video, a couple of planning videos coming out. I think I mentioned it in my vlog, but there's a couple of planning videos that will be coming out where I will have one that's kind of for the white squares, one that's for the purple squares, and then one that is for my reading journal setup for HRCYED. And I'm super excited about the idea that I came up with for my reading journal without having to take up like 30 pages in my journal just to keep myself in line and on track and things like that, because her spreadsheet is amazing for HRCYED, but I also need an analog thing for my brain to work well. I need to be able to have something that I can look at any time, and when I use my pens and markers and things like that, it sticks in my brain better than it does when I'm just looking at something digitally. So I will be doing both. My analog version won't be anywhere near as nice as hers, but it will give me the basics of what I need and quick references. And if I need more, then I can go to the spreadsheet. And she's got an amazing tracker that does the point systems and all that kind of stuff. Her website is great because it gives you a little more detail into every prompt, as well as all of the links to submit your reads, as well as different journal pages that you can use, which is really cool too. And I may be taking some inspiration from some of that for my reading journal. And I will let you know that and have the links to all of that when I show you all of that. And I think that's it. So like this was a short and sweet this month, which is good because the last couple of months have been a little crazy. And I know that we're heading up soon in September, I believe, for the Magical Readathon, which is also going to be crazy. And I'm pretty sure there's some Readathons in August that I'm going to want to take part of as well. So yeah, we'll see. So let me know if you are participating in HRCYED and what's the first couple of prompts you're going to be working on. And also, are you participating in TBR Trails? Are you Team Fairy or are you Team Centaur? I'd love to find that out. And if you made it this far in the video, is there a harp emoji? Some type of music emoji for me finally continuing the Lyra series and hopefully getting that finished sooner rather than later. And thank you so much for joining me today. And please like, comment, and subscribe if you want to. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss any other videos from me. And until next time, keep reading. Bye!